Hi, my name is Erica Harwood. I have worked in early childhood education for 17 years. I remember growing up surrounded by caregivers. My mom was a teacher in early childhood education, and my grandparents were also caregivers. I loved playing school with my sister, whom had special medical needs. We laughed together as we would teach each other different lessons, sharing turns on being the student. I spent many days alongside my sister when I was younger, as my mom struggled to find my sister a quality care child care center to accommodate her needs. Can you imagine not having a high quality child care center to accommodate your child's needs? I often remember my mom always bringing her to work with her, just to know that there was always someone available if she started to have seizures. This continued into grade school. I was often called out of my classroom to help teachers during her episodes, to be her safety and be her voice. Growing up in all of this, I've always knew that I wanted to take after my mom and become an early educator. The passion grew stronger every time I needed to help my sister. I knew I wanted to be a voice for children who couldn't advocate for themselves. At 17 years old, in my senior year, I knew my exact direction I wanted to go, and that was into early childhood education. My life had a different plan. I became a single mother at the age of 17, just before enrolling into college. This thought sorry. This stopped my dream as I needed to figure out a new life. I had then enrolled my daughter into a local center-based childcare, praying that things were different from when I was a child. I prayed that there was a higher quality care for her. A few months went by of her going to this center, and I was approached by her teacher asking if I was interested in being a parent volunteer. I knew in that moment that I would love to be a part of her classroom. So many read books later, many colorings and puzzles. I grew to love this place. Her teachers were some of the most caring people I have ever met. The director had come up to me one day after I dropped her off and asked me if I would like to be an apprentice there. I knew instantly this was my path back into my dream. I enrolled into a voc rehab apprenticeship program through the state of Vermont. This program gave me the stepping stones to become exactly what I have dreamt of. After this program, I spent a few years in this center and another local center being a floater and helping in classrooms. I began taking classes one a semester for a few years until I reached my CDA level. There wasn't many programs out there at that time that helped with working full-time and managing classes like there is now. If the Teach program was a thing 17 years ago, I would have been jumping in feet first. It is an incredibly it is incredibly important to keep investing into these programs for this exact reason, because accessibility and flexibility is key into some of the newly enrolled students. Years went by, and I started my role as an infant toddler teacher at a Head Start in Bennington County. I met a lot of great families. I spent countless hours advocating for families whom didn't know where to begin and their children with special needs. I walked alongside them as to be their support when navigating what their children needed to become successful. I cried watching a child whom they said would never take his first steps being assisted by his team of therapists and me cheering him on in the background. Working with these families pushed me to gain a higher level of education. I wanted to be the best I could for these families, investing into the teachers who may already be established and investing into the teachers that are just beginning this journey is so incredibly important. Keeping programs going to help teachers take their education to the next level, just like I knew I needed to do this, is crucial. There is a serious shortage and gap in teachers statewide, and by recognizing this and making teachers a recognized profession, increasing our compensation, and continuing the accessible programs, you will be able to push those floaters to become high quality early child care professionals, which I needed that push, and so do many others. We need to keep advocating for teachers and families. Early childhood Early childhood education has been and always will be my profession and passion.